but there's something about here that it just seeps into my bones. It's a
Yeah,
very sacred place. I'm looking at the Skelligs. The Hag of Beara is down the road.
yeah,
It really is an extraordinary place, and I feel keenly
yeah.
the energies of the Cailleach now in my case, the
Uh-huh.
Crone. Um, and interesting enough, from the Skelligs, some people might know that it is said that there are two ley lines, like a
Yeah,
DNA helix, one feminine, one masculine.
yeah.
And the feminine one comes ashore at the village where I live, travels over the beach where we got engaged many moons
Oh,
ago, up the road to where we are, and we're both at the edge of the village. So it's always said that the shaman lives at the edge of the forest,
of
not quite in
course.
the center, but
Yeah.
just in that liminal place.
Hi, you're listening to Soul Care for Trauma and AuDHD. Learn to love and care for all your parts from the soles of your feet to your soul. I'm your host, Eve Menezes Cunningham. This is Mighty Maeve. I'm a senior accredited supervisor, senior accredited counsellor, a therapeutic coach where I integrate all my offerings, including psychosynthesis counselling, the trauma informed therapies, the neurodivergent affirming therapies, AuDHD coaching, yoga, breathwork, meditation, crystals, EFT. I'm a senior yoga teacher and EFT International Advanced EFT practitioner and mentor, and an NLP master practitioner. I'm also the author of 365 Ways to Feel Better, Self-Care Ideas for Embodied Wellbeing, a columnist for Platinum magazine, where I answer readers' questions every month using the Feel, Love, Heal framework that I use in these episodes. So the focus is on self-care, connecting with that highest, wisest, truest part of yourself, and community care, collective care, the Feel, Love, Heal framework. There are new episodes every Tuesday, so you can subscribe wherever you watch or listen. And you can also access older episodes, free resources, more information at soulstosoul.ie/podcast. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy this episode. So, welcome back to Dr. Karen Ward, the delightful Karen Ward. Thank you so much for joining me again.
I am absolutely honored, Eve, delighted. Thank you so much for the invitation.
And I know your life has changed a lot in terms of your move, your new space, your everything. But do you want to start by saying there'll be a link in the show notes to our earlier interview as well, that episode. But do you want to start by saying a little bit about not just where people can find you online, but how you got into this kind of work, what you're up to?
Thank you. I have been doing this work for many a long moon,
Yeah,
for many moons, as they say. I became a holistic therapist first. My background actually is in science. I'm
yeah,
a microbiologist, believe it or not, from UCD, but I've always had a very curious mind. I was the child who played with the fairies at the end of her granny's garden. But I also have a very logical, practical side. So back in the day, there wasn't a term or a word for somebody who was very methodical.
yeah,
We know this as OCD tendencies now, but also had this wild, free imagination,
hmm,
a very sensitive, energy sensitive person. So I basically followed yoga as a practitioner. I
yeah,
became a teacher. Then there became the aromatherapy massage, the psychotherapy, the Reiki, and then the shamanism followed. So I felt like I have the whole package, the body, the mind, and the soul. Um, there's interesting enough, I have three websites. So there's three strands, more or less, to what I
yeah,
do. With my darling husband, John, we have Shlee on Cree, which is Pathway of the Heart in Irish Gaelic, and that is a school of Irish Celtic shamanism, which more or less underpins
yeah,
everything that I do. It's my spiritual belief system,
yeah.
very much in touch with nature.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the Moon Mana, and this is the women's section.
Yeah.
And really, oh, the work that I do there in community in particular is
Yeah.
very, very heartwarming. And then finally, there's the Dr. Karen Ward therapist, which is my more academic side of things.
Yeah.
I talk about my energy therapy
Yeah.
technique that I train other psychotherapists,
Yeah.
counselors, and psychologists. And I love to see the three strands weaving together, a bit like
Yeah.
a triple spiral, to be honest.
Yeah. And I'm aware, me doing your moon manure facilitator training, it was so soon after I moved to Ireland, and being Indian Irish and having that blood link for the first time, but also very much being an immigrant, being a blow-in, it was such an amazing welcome. But also, even though I'm a trauma therapist, I've been doing the trauma recovery work for a long, long time, for decades, but it was so healing. It was so it I can't, like, if anyone's thinking about doing it, like anyone who's watching or listening to this, it goes through different, like, kind of working with Sacred Island, working with the Divine Feminine, the Irish goddesses. There are things that I remember, like psychosynthesis. It started out as biopsychosynthesis. It's a very embodied, very transpersonal approach, very holistic. All my other things, my yoga therapy, all of it. But I think the timing I came to yours, stuff that I'd kind of glossed through in earlier trainings, and I knew they were important, but I hadn't fully embodied them. And, like, to give an example, it's through your training in my late 40s that I stopped apologising for my boobs.
And of
Because,
course, as we know, Eve, that is not so unusual. I mean, it sounds, what? I
yeah,
mean, in fact, May is the month we have a lunar
yeah,
gathering.
yeah,
We do the Moons of Love, Sacred
yeah,
Breasts. And I have to say, it's the one theme out of the 13
mm.
where women go, what? There's no goddess. There's no rite of passage. It's breasts. And I would say it's one of the most emotional ones and the most
yeah,
healing. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree completely.
yeah. It's like, even now I'll catch myself before getting into the pool or whatever, just spending decades just embarrassed and trying to not be prey, and trying, and I know also being postmenopausal, like, less predatory attention than when you're younger, but it's just the whole training, the whole 13 months, the reflection, this wasn't meant to be an advert for your course, but I just want to, like, thank you again. I know, like, I've thanked you. It's just such a holistic, embodied, gorgeous way of working, and just thank you. So where, so you've given the websites, there'll be links in the show notes. In terms of your own ideal and actual self-care, I know we talked about this when the podcast began. You were one of my first guests. Now I'm using the framework I've developed, that Feel, Love, Heal. So it's divided into, like, your ideal and actual self-care around the regulatory stuff, the things you do when you have the bandwidth, the love for the, you don't have to do a thing. You're already part of the divine. You are part of nature. There's nothing to change. But that can often, especially with trauma, with AuDHD, be harder to access, because and also in a late capitalist, white supremacist, patriarchal society, we've been conditioned to believe we have to fix and change so many things about ourselves. So then finally, the heal part, that community care, and you do such wonderful work, not just with the training, but you also do the womb work, don't you, like, for the world. I'm going to let you get a word in edgewise now.
I really love the way I mean, feel, love, heal. I mean,
Yeah.
that so sums up so much. I currently am, well, how would you say? I was a city gal and now I'm a country crone. And I am Dublin City, born and bred. Anybody who knows Dublin will know that it's quite a small city. So
Mm.
you're at the sea looking at the mountains, you're at the mountains looking at the sea. You could walk through it in a day. Um, so I mean, the Phoenix Park is very close to where I lived for many years. Bushy Park when I was a child. But my my segue into the country has been so smooth.
Yeah.
It was like I was yearning for this.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that I have been coming down to the Beara Peninsula for the last 26 years.
Mm.
My husband came here as a child when he was 8. Um, but there's something about here that it just seeps into my bones. It's a
Yeah.
very sacred place. I'm looking at the Skelligs. The Hag of Beara is down the road.
Yeah.
It really is an extraordinary place. And I feel keenly
Yeah.
the energies of the Cailleach now in my case, the
Uh-huh.
Clone. Um, and interesting enough, from the Skelligs, some people might know that it is said that there are two ley lines, like a
Yeah.
DNA helix, one feminine, one masculine.
Yeah.
And the feminine one comes ashore at the village where I live, travels over the beach where we got engaged many moons
Oh.
ago, up the road to where we are, and we're both at the edge of the village. So it's always said that the shaman lives at the edge of the forest,
Mm. Of
not quite in
course.
the center, but
Yeah.
just in that liminal place. And the male line goes out to sea.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any surprise that I happen to be living on this ley line.
Yeah.
I've always had my most amazing ideas from here. So
Yeah.
so I can feel that, but the love in this place is off the charts.
Yeah.
Love for nature, love for my husband. It's very much we got engaged
Yeah.
here, but also from that love of self.
Yeah.
My mother was of an age where women self-care wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
People thought you had notions or there wasn't money for that type of thing. But interestingly enough, when I went back to my grandmother on my mother's side, Granny Kathleen, she always got her hair done every single week.
Yeah.
And it was just a thing she did. And I realized, oh my gosh, that was self-care.
Mm.
But I didn't realize it. My mother then, she was very sporty, took up to playing tennis and badminton. And of course, that was her self-care.
Yeah.
Watching the Late Late Show, listening to Gay Byrne on the radio.
Yeah.
These were forms of self-care. I mean, I used to yearn for my father in particular to tell me that he loved me. And it took me a lot of therapy to realize that when he fixed my bicycle puncture, that was, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was always there. And of course, the healing, I see swim like you.
Yeah.
We're called the pearl dippers because
Ah.
we swim in Tron Ferla, which is pearl strand.
Yeah.
It's a cove really, but that 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 love, the healing that comes with that,
Yes.
physically, mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Yeah.
is incredible. And it's as much about getting into Mami Mara, the sea, as
Mm-hmm.
it is the community
Yeah.
and how we come together and the chats and the cup of tea afterwards.
Yeah.
So here really feeds me in so many ways with
Yeah.
that feel, love and heal.
I feel getting into the sea, like it's so different. Like yesterday, it was so calm, even though I forgot my snorkel to go snorkeling. Who does that? ADHD brain. Um, we were in the water for ages because it wasn't like really choppy, really unpleasant. I worked muscles I didn't know I had because I was out of alignment. I didn't have my usual, it was kind of like, but there's something about I know, especially like around COVID, after that initial 2 kilometre lockdown became 5 kilometres, and as the bird flew, I could make it to the sea and I could get in the sea. And it just felt like because my bubble was basically me at the time, the sea held me and it was like I wasn't. And after that, it just felt like I think with the big feelings with AuDHD and with I've never felt too much for the sea, and sometimes like even when it's choppy, wouldn't swim out, wouldn't be risking my life or anything. But it just feels so soul cleansing, like you're being held. And then other times just like even letting myself be held floating in the pool. Or yeah. What would be your ideal and your essential of what you've described so far?
I suppose it's not just the sea. I think I
Yeah.
alluded to it there. It's the community. But I am often at my desk, and it's taken me a long time to realize personally with my OCD tendencies, with my I would say if I did the test, I'm on the spectrum,
Mm,
but I'm on the lower end of it. So I actually regulate
mm.
by doing work.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's an expression that we use as therapists, and maybe I'm giving the game away, E, for your listeners. Sometimes we need the session more than the clients need the session.
Vicarious healing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the it's focus.
Mm,
It's being able
mm.
to the reciprocity, being able to
Yeah.
come to give what we can to help somebody
Yeah.
help themselves. So I'm at the desk and then literally my brain is still
Mm,
here. My body is halfway out the door.
hmm.
I'm pulled.
Yeah.
Call it the elemental energies, Mother Earth, whatever. And I cycle through this beautiful countryside to the sea to meet whoever of the gang is there. Then there's the immersion and the surrender to the sea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I have to confess, sometimes I'm swimming in the cove and my head is going, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
is there a jellyfish? Is there a congaree?
Yeah.
There's basking sharks. And it's like,
Basking sharks.
I know, three.
Oh my
Now,
God.
keep in mind, basking sharks are vegetarians, but
Yeah,
are,
but
you know,
amazing.
it's incredible. We
Oh.
like to think they're mummy, baby, and daddy
Oh.
here. They come every year around this time. Amazing. Um, so then on the way back, especially if John is with me, we stop from May to September in this fabulous little coffee shack, the Bera Barista, and we have our lunch. If it's really sunny, I will take my book and I will go down to my little cove, my little there's rocks and there's a little kind of hidden place.
Yeah.
I call it my happy place, one of my happy places. And I can sit there reading, looking at the sea, the rocks where we got engaged, and nobody sees me. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's got a little hidden space. And then I wander back up home,
Yeah.
cycle back up the hill, get a
Yeah.
bit of exercise in. So I suppose it's the whole package.
Yes.
It's the my body yearning to go out, the
Yeah.
exercise, the being in nature, looking at the lambs, the cows, the horses, the birds. It, it's everything.
Yeah.
But what might surprise you is equally doing the work is an
Yeah.
important part of that as well.
Absolutely. It doesn't, I mean, I am still, I've been here now like 7.5 years, and stepping out of my door or in the house, seeing the Reek Crowpatrick Mountain and stepping onto the lane and the changing seasons, and saw a hare driving home this morning.
Oh,
Like just kind of it paused, it looked at me. It's like I'm gonna have to meditate on that later and kind of connect with whatever its kind of guidance is for me. But I feel like moving here has put me in a situation in an environment. It's the best I've ever felt in my life. Like it's the most at home I've ever felt in my life. I'm so lucky with the neighbours and everything and being so close to the sea. I was deluding myself thinking I'd climb Crowpatrick once a month to get pictures throughout the year. I've done it once in 7 and a bit years. But it is that real grounding and the connection with, like, I'm next door to people who've lived there for generations, like on that land, connecting with the land's ancestors, my ancestors, spiritual ancestors, just like I feel a little bit tearful, but so, so lucky. And it also makes it all so much easier. The energy clearing stuff like that, it's much less than what I used to do in London or in Essex in like flats where there's so much like near the busy station, all of it. I realise people might be, well, it's all right for you listening to that. What did you do in Dublin? Like, what helped you with the city energy to look after yourself? Or what helps you when you don't have the energy? Like, you've set up a life that nourishes you on so many levels. But if you're feeling ill, or if you're traveling, or if you could only do one thing that you had, like I'm thinking cycling up the hill, I don't know how steep that is, but fantastic. If you don't have the energy for all of that.
Very good question. I think it's important to know that I lived in Dublin
Mm,
for 60 years,
mm,
and people were very surprised. And they would say to myself and John, you have a school of Irish Celtic shamanism and you live in the city, the capital city.
mm.
But you know, the earth is always beneath our feet.
Of course.
Sky is always above our head.
Mm,
Um, the a balcony, a pot of a flower in your on your windowsill,
mm.
the garden, the local park. I mean, I used Dublin City bikes all the time. I would cycle up to Phoenix Park. I had a happy place up there beside a hawthorn tree. And again, it's I had a Liffey walk, so I would
Yeah.
walk around three bridges on the River Liffey,
Mm,
and I would pass the Guinness factory, I would pass Houston Station train station, I
yeah.
would pass park, but equally people in the city. And I mean, you could literally open a window and just look out and let the sun shine on your face,
Yeah.
or let the moon reflect on your face,
Yeah.
or listen to a bird on a tree opposite.
Yeah.
It's all there. We sometimes we think we have to have all this fancy equipment, we have to do all these
Yes.
courses. Everything we need is here.
Absolutely.
Our breath,
Hmm.
we can close our eyes and do the
Yeah.
classic, the 10 deep breaths.
Yeah.
Um, we can close our eyes and in our mind's eye go off
Yeah.
to a holiday we once had. We can take ourselves out into nature through our
Yeah.
mind's eye. And of course, as you know, Eve, and maybe some of the people watching and listening to this will know that if we in our head run through a visual or even an auditory music, we
Mm,
can transport ourselves back to or forward to
yeah.
wonderful spaces that hold us. And the scientists have done research to see that the same parts of our brain light
Mm,
up, be it, that dopamine hit or whatever
yeah.
it might be, um, that the power of our imagination, our
Yeah.
subconscious,
Mm,
is massive. Our breath can bring us to those liminal places.
yeah.
And of course, you alluded to at the start, there's parts of our bodies, oh, I
Mm,
don't like this, my eyes are too small, look at my neck, look at my breasts. But we have a body.
yeah.
We can walk, we can move, and maybe you can only just stretch in the bed
Mm,
or get to the couch,
yeah.
make a cup of herbal tea. That's all you can do that
Yeah.
day. But that in itself is a miracle.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, here in Westport, we have 4 seasons in one day on a regular basis. But even living here, it's like if I'm out for a walk and it starts raining, I'll be like, rain cleanse. Or if it's really windy, wind cleanse. Like just imagining the wind taking the energies I no longer need, the sun cleanse, or whatever it is, using whatever there is. And do you want to say a little bit about the community care, the womb work, the like, and also how you let yourself be held, how you let yourself be cared for?
That's a really good question. Moon Manor has been set up
Mm,
since I was called to set this
mm,
up since 2009.
mm,
So a fair few years now. It was in person and then it went online. So now it's international. And it is incredible the tribe, the tuatha in Irish Gaelic, of women. I remember when I started the online, there was a Brazilian woman, a woman in Brazil, a woman in America, and a woman in Australia who were the guinea pigs, if you will. And that would have been 2011. And I assumed that when women came and did the course,
Yeah.
then they'd float off into the sunset and that would be it, or the moonset, as the case may be. But actually, quite a lot of the women have stayed in touch.
Mm.
We have a very vibrant WhatsApp group, and it's very nourishing.
Mm.
And what's wonderful is when we have our lunar gatherings, which the public can come to, but we also have our art of facilitation. So this is a part of the course for the 13 months while women train with me. Many of the graduates said, "Can I still come to them?"
Yeah.
I said, "Of course you can."
I
And
didn't know we could.
yes, come back. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it evolved over the years
Yeah.
because women were asking that. But it's lovely to have the newbies, as I
Yeah.
affectionately call them, somebody who's graduated a long time, somebody
Yeah.
who's just about to graduate, come together, and we we support each other.
Yeah.
And they've been with me on this whole move. I mean, we renovated an old farmhouse, and that's been a journey, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But it's so wonderful to feel that support and the reciprocity that I fulfill the role as a teacher, a mentor, a facilitator. And
Yeah.
then after the 13 months when they graduate, I become a colleague and a peer.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And to be quite honest, it's not something that I saw way back in the day. I
Yeah.
assumed they'd finish, get their cert, and off they'd go. But it's lovely to see. And the same with over in Slian Cree, where
Mm.
there's men and women in the group. Um, I'm off to the Bealtaine, the fire festival. I've been to Kildare and Louth for the
Yeah.
Brigid's festival. In other words, although the work's online, every Celtic festival,
Yeah.
I myself and or John go to a sacred site somewhere.
Yeah.
Winter solstice, we were at an amazing site in West Cork,
Yeah.
and so therefore the students, the graduates can come as meet us, and we can do
Yeah.
ceremony and ritual, which is so enriching
Yeah.
for me as well as them, and that's very important.
Wonderful. And is there anything you wish you could send in the way of love, wisdom, advice, anything to any younger you that you'd like to share?
I would like to reassure her
Mm.
that all will be well, and that the the small things that can be a worry, or what will I know, how will this work out, just to trust, to believe and surrender. And I remind myself of that daily
Yeah.
practically, that we are so held. There is a saying, it's a Christian, I think it's a biblical saying, um, the lilies of the field are looked
Mm.
after, so
Mm.
why not you?
Yeah.
I mean, in the midst of a field, a random field, you've got these stunning flowers, incredible. Nobody waters them. They're not fed. They're not minded. They just grow themselves. The rain, they're looked after,
Yeah.
and look how beautiful they are. So if the universe, spirit, God, goddess, whatever you call that transpersonal element, is looking after lilies,
Yeah.
well, why wouldn't they look after us?
Yeah.
Whatever is out there, up there, down there. And yeah, so I would reassure younger Karen
Yeah.
that all will be well, that just trust your innate intuition.
Yeah.
Follow your heart.
Yeah.
We've heard this in so many ways. Follow your bliss, follow your passion. But truly, that is the answer. And some of us have been through incredible challenges.
Yeah.
But to know that there's always a way forward.
Yeah.
And I mean, with over in the Dr. Karen website, the energy therapy technique, I teach counselors and
Mm.
psychotherapists and psychologists to use within your classic mental health, mental and
Yeah.
emotional session has been so freeing. I mean, I've seen people from the most unbelievable trauma,
Mm.
their lives completely changed.
Yeah.
And it is such an honor for me to teach others this.
Yeah.
And on my website, there's a whole list of people that anybody can go to if they wish. Um, yeah, that we are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
I mean, even here in this village, some people might think, oh, that's it. She has her life sorted now. She's got her man, she's got the village, she's got the house. But there's a whole new layer of learning here
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I'm astounded sometimes at the small little things I'm learning, and then the big or cosmic.
Yeah.
That's life. We are always learning,
Yeah.
and to
I
embrace.
was thinking, I feel like I'm in the midst or at the end or at the beginning of an emotional growth spurt, like beyond teenage years, baby crone. But I mean, I always looked forward to becoming a crone from my like kind of early 20s. But it just feels like, I mean, healing isn't linear, but also the more we ground what we've learnt, and also the more we, like you say, all you have to do is connect with yourself. Like you have it all within you. Everyone has it. I knew it would be a joy to talk to you again. Do you want to say again where people can find you, including any social media?
Oh yes. So the three websites
Mm-hmm.
are Shlee on Cree,
Mm-hmm.
which you can Pathway of the Heart .ie, and then there's Moon Manaw, and
Mm-hmm.
Manaw is the Irish Gaelic for women. That's .ie too, and then Dr. Karen Ward Therapist, all one word .ie, and then each of those have their own Instagram and Facebook
Yeah.
accounts. So Moon Manaw, Irish Celtic Women's Circles, Shlee Cree, and then Dr. Karen Moore, therapist. And actually, it's on that one that I chart the journey of
Yeah.
the house. And it's so funny because way back over a year ago, I said to my husband, maybe we'll contact Dermot Bannon and we go on one of those programs. And he was, no, he's a very private man. No, no way. And I used to think in those programs, there's always a bit of drama. And I thought, they're making it up for the cameras. Oh, they are so not. In fact, I'm sure they have their pick of drama. Which one would we go for? So, there's always something, but I chart the journey of the house.
Yeah.
And each time I post something about it,
Yeah.
it brings me to a learning for me.
Yeah.
So therefore, the psychotherapy little nugget comes in,
Yeah.
and that's Dr. Karen Ward Therapist
Yeah.
on Instagram and social media.
And thinking, like, you know, the Nora Ephron, Everything's Copy, like her parents were screenwriters. She was a screenwriter, a director, when Harry Met Sally and all. And just that thought of when you're going through something, like, how can I write about this, or how can I use this to help? It takes you out of the drama while it helps you smile at it a little bit, or think one day I'll smile at this a little bit, or yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There'll be links to all of that in the show notes. And Mila Buikas.
Mila Buikas, Astor, thank you so much, Eve, for all that you do. And it is always such a pleasure. I mean, we met through the course,
Yeah,
but very much not peers in the work we do,
yeah.
colleagues, but a dear Anam Cara, a soul friend.
Ah, thank you. Before you get on with something else, I'm going to encourage you to pause for a moment and scan your whole being from the soles of your feet to your soul and the crown of your head, and notice what you're aware of. Notice any physical sensations, pleasant, unpleasant, warmth, tingly, whatever it may be. Just being curious about what you're feeling as you've listened to this episode. Making a note, asking what those sensations might be trying to help you with, what you might benefit from doing for your body right now. Being aware of your thoughts, thoughts, noticing any feelings that feel more prominent as a result of listening to today, and any intuitions, any insights, anything that you can actually schedule in to ground and improve your life in some way. So let me know how you get on. Make a note, doodle, journal, whatever feels good for you. And thank you for listening. This episode, like all of them, was produced by me, your host, Eve Menezes Cunningham, and I look forward to sharing more next week. You can find out more, access old episodes and free resources and more information at soulstosoulcare.ie/podcast. See you next week.